All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Akwath who may be listening. It's your brother Batakallah from the GMS camp in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson. All right, and just this last weekend, you know, at the camp, at one of the camps, one of the brothers in the camp, an older gentleman, he had an issue with one of his children coming up to the line and disrespecting him. And I just wanted to cover that real quick because it's an important thing that we got to understand. I personally don't have kids, but you know it's something you're gonna deal with. Family, friends, all these people in the world gonna come against you, and a lot of the people that you thought you were close with when you was in the world gonna be the main ones. But this is Matthew 12 and 47. Then one said to him, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with thee. But he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother, and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand towards his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. All right. So, these quote unquote, in the words of the elder brother Murph in Chicago, these people that's your relatives are not really your family. The brothers are your family. The Akim are your family. The ones that's doing the will of the Lord. These people in your family, quote unquote, as far as the world is concerned, the people you related to, a vast majority of them hate the Lord, man. All right, you'll be lucky if one other person in your family loves the Lord. Whether it's that they in the camp with you, or even if they just one of the believers who doesn't scoff and you know helps you out or whatever this may be. But you would be lucky if you get that. All right, the vast majority of the people on this earth hate the Lord, man. All right, and you gotta keep that in mind, and you gotta also remember, you know, this is speaking on my family personally. A lot of the people in my family, they do a lot of wicked shit, and they got demons on them. Now, we've all been wicked. We've all done wicked things. That's not what I'm not saying that I'm above that or anybody's above that, because nobody is. But once you come out of that and you you know start living your life the way the Lord says to live your life, and you start carrying your cross and you trying to purge out that old man and purge those demons out of you. The demons on these other people, they see that and they attack. All right, and that's what the brother had to deal with just recently at the camp, and we all have to deal with it at one point or another. This Matthew 18:6. So like I'm gonna start at 5. No. I'm gonna just I'm gonna start at I'm gonna start at 2. This Matthew 18:2. And Yahweh Shai called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right, so once we enter this truth and we start to bear our cross in the proper fashion, not the way these Christians talk about it or these Muslims talk about it, but the direct and correct way, the 100% truth. Once we start living our life like that, we're resetting ourselves. We're starting back at square one, and we're growing from that point in the righteous way. All right. And these demons, they see that, man, and they don't. These demons' main job is to ensnare other people, man. All right. The person that they have and they have control over is already conquered. Unless they repent, they already conquered. So the demons, yeah, they fuck with the people that they are attached to, but the main goal is to ensnare and attach to other people. And when they see that you are trying to rid yourself of that, they come against you. Verse 4, Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And who shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. All right. So, like I had mentioned earlier, everybody's not going to necessarily be like that you knew in the world. It might be a few individuals that, they believe what you're saying. Maybe they're not it's not their lot to be a prophet, but they still don't scoff. They still ask questions and try to do the best they can do and help you out in various other ways. And, the Lord is going to reward them for that. Also, for people who you didn't know before you came into the truth, but those people dealt with you righteously and gave you a cup of cold water, as the scriptures would say. Those people are going to be dealt with righteously because it's like they're receiving Yahweh Shai. Okay. Verse 6, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hang about his neck and that he were drowned in the depths of the sea. All right. And that's not a comfortable way to go out. Drowning is probably like the second worst way to go out, outside of being burned alive or like boiled or something like that. Because you don't die instantly, and starving as well, Salakia. But the drowning doesn't kill you instantly. It takes, like 10 minutes for you to die. So you're just suffering for that whole time. And, you get a millstone tied on your neck and dropped into the ocean. You're not escaping that either. Ain't no swimming back to the top. Ain't none of that. You just going to die. And that's what's going to happen to all these people that disrespect the men of the Lord and the people in your family, especially, quote unquote, Salakia, your relatives, especially, people that was close to you in the world, especially. All right. If you really a man of the Lord, like the brother Murph say all the time, if you really a man of the Lord and the Lord puts somebody in your path to vex you and disrespect you and come against you, the Lord really hates them. So how much more for somebody who's been in your life for your whole life or for their whole life? Because, this brother had a problem with his son. So, obviously his son wasn't in his life for his whole life, but, it's his son. So he been a part of his son's life for his whole life. And, his son coming against him, the Lord is really going to fuck that dude up. And the dude already got demons on him. And I'm going to just leave it at that. All right. But when the Lord selects you to come against the man of the Lord, and then especially if the Lord selects you to be a vexation to a man of the Lord for your whole life or for an extended period of time in your life, you're gonna be in trouble when you come back, man. It's gonna be death and destruction, and leading all the way up to that as well. Like I said, the brother's son got big time demons on him, man, and he's gonna continue to keep losing. Salakia. But we got to understand what we signed up for. It's a part of the battle, like Sirach 2 and 1 say. Oh, well, the whole Sirach second chapter, really. But, you got to prepare yourself for these things. These are things that are going to make us better and make us serve the Lord better, all right? This Ephesians 6 and 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise, that it may be well with thee and thou mayest live long on the earth. All right. Now, of course, you know, when you enter this truth, you have to leave a lot of things behind. That may include your immediate family, quote unquote, your mother, your father, grandparents, whatever. All right, but it's one thing to separate yourself from niggas, and it's another thing to disrespect or talk down on your father and your mother and your grandparents and things of that nature. Okay, now are we going to point out the things that they do that's wicked? Of course, because a lot of things that you see in your life, you see it for it to be taught to you and for you to be able to teach about those things. All right, so of course we're going to speak about the wicked things that anybody does that we see, and the Spirit calls us to speak on it. But that don't mean that you're disrespecting your father and your mother, talking down on them, calling them outside of their name and all that type of shit. All right, pulling up to the line, disrespecting them, pulling up to their place of work, disrespecting them, ragging them in front of other people. You're not supposed to do that, man. Especially to your father, who is a representation of the Lord on this earth. Not saying that, because of course shit, my father's wicked, but that's still it's a I'm not saying a proxy as in, he directly represents the Lord and everything that the Lord wants us to do. He tells you that that's how it's supposed to be, but You know, if you're not going to respect your father on earth, you're not going to have no respect for the Lord. Point blank, period, man. If you don't have a proper fear for your father on earth, you're not going to understand having fear for the Lord, man. You know, and that's something that Esau did consciously in this society. Esau and the black woman have combined together to turn Jake against their father, which is, you know, turning them against the Lord. All right. This Proverbs 20:20. Whoso curses his father or his mother, his lamp shall be put out in obscure darkness. All right. So, you know, we had to have respect for our parents, whether they're wicked or not. That doesn't mean you don't call out their wickedness, but it's a right and a wrong way to do everything. And you definitely don't come against your parents in a way that's disrespectful, that can hurt them. It's just wicked, man. You don't do that. All right. Your parents gave you life. The Lord used them to put you on this earth. And as far as your father is concerned, Apostle Gabar says it all the time. If it wasn't for your father, you wouldn't be an Israelite. So you really don't got no business ragging him and dragging his name like that, man. Especially, you know, around people you don't know, even around quote unquote relatives, whatever. You don't do that, man. And it's a heavy punishment for that. And that's outside of your father being a man of the Lord. See, this brother is a man of the Lord, and his son wanted to disrespect him like that. So he really is going to pay the price for that. And it ain't no mercy for shit like that. I mean, look, man, the Lord set it up the way He set it up. If I was there, I would have slapped the shit out of that dude for that, man. But it is what it is. We try not to be carnal or what and all that. But certain things I don't. That the brother that got disrespected is a beautiful brother. I don't believe he deserves that. But it is what it is. It happened how it happened. This Isaiah 3:12. Salakia, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. All right. So Esau, first and foremost, followed by the children and the black woman are set up over Jake, man. And this is who's teaching Jake how to operate when they're growing up. And that's why all these niggas don't have no respect for no type of authority, especially the quote unquote, well, I ain't gonna say, black, Hispanic, and Native American man authority. All right. If you in the truth, Israelite authority. But for those that's not in the truth, they black and Mexicans and shit to me. But nonetheless, this is what Esau teaches through the black woman and the media and all that. For the kids not to have no respect for the Jake man, for the Northern Kingdom man at all. And that's a result. That's why this society is the way it is as a result, okay? It makes you weak. And because Esau's not worried about none of you fucking women, man. Especially you fucking black women. Esau ain't worried about y'all. You're not a threat. You're going to do whatever he tell you to do. And a lot of y'all going to die because of that. A vast majority of y'all going to die because of your willingness to listen to Esau. He don't care about you. All right? The man is the threat. And that's why he's made a concerted effort to do everything to take the man out of the equation. Because even in wickedness, when Jake had fathers in their life, Jake's was living cool, man. Now, and the Lord didn't, the Lord set it up the way he did because we're going to get salvation from him, not from one of these fucking niggas out here preaching folly, from a Farrakhan or a Dr. Umar. They not going to give us salvation. All right. Even your father, in the world, he not going to give you salvation. We got to rely on the Lord for that. And that's why it's set up the way it is. But at the end of the day, Esau is targeted what he knows is the threat, what he knows will cause him problems. All right. The scriptures say to bring up or to teach a child in the way. Let me just get that, man. It might be in the Apocrypha. Salakia. So like I can't find it, but um, you know, we gotta expect that these people gonna come against us. You know, especially the people that was closest to you in the world. All right, that's why the Lord gave us a body and other brothers to rely on and lean on, cause you know it's hard out here. You know, and one of the more difficult things that we're gonna have to deal with is accepting the people that was closest to us when we was in the world coming against us, you know, for the sake of the Lord. And we got to be ready to endure that. All right, but with that being said, we're going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Agwa that may be listening. Until next time, Shalom.